be like, this crazy person, what am I
Yes.
doing?
I'm like psyched to just say hi and like spend a moment with you. How's
My
that?
biggest question lately has been, when am I? Because what is happening? How are we in spring already?
Wow, it is. It's moving. It's moving though. Things are
It's
moving
moving so fast.
so
I was
fast.
like, the fire horse is gonna buck me off. It's fine. I'm gonna
Wait,
be holding his tail like, wait for me. Where are you going?
how are you? What's going on in your world? Like, tell me like what you're focused on doing now.
Gosh, I've been doing so much. Uh,
I know. I was like, is there a word for jack of all trades or
oh my gosh. I
like
know. I like it's funny because like everybody like when I meet new people, they're like, you have so many jobs, and I'm just like, I'm just out here floating, trying to make a life that I like, you know? I'm just
so
trying
many
to figure
things?
it out.
I'm so many things.
I'm kissing 40, still trying to figure this out, you know?
Yes. Yes, we are. And we're going 40s are going to be good.
Yeah, I'm excited about it.
I'm stoked it's your 40th and you're bringing it in Rise style.
I know, I
Oh,
know.
you're
It
gonna
was great last time, so I mean, let's just do it again.
yeah. I mean, for real, that's exactly how I feel at this point too, and why we're doing it again. I mean, that was like while we were there that last time, that was the overwhelming feeling I was having was like, wait, we're gonna do other things than this? No, no, no. Actually, we're gonna do nothing else but this.
I think that's why I realized I really love doing retreats, is because if it's a good retreat, like I will probably be as nurtured and nourished as the clients and people and communities that I'm serving. Um, so usually I walk away from it with just as much, if not more, from the experience, just from being there and being immersed in the community and feeling like we all have shared values and shared goals. Like, so I love a retreat. Like, I'm sitting there, like, y'all need a facilitator. Like, I'm like asking all, like, I'm all like, you need a facility, you want a facilitator? Because I love to
Amazing.
facilitate. I love tarot, I love intuition work. But I just been trying to kind of bridge out into my other offerings because I love those things too. And so that's why I kind of like it's funny because like everywhere that I have been before, I am segueing kind of out of some of those practices because I'm like, I want to offer my community something else that I feel like they'll also enjoy. So it'll be nice.
I love that. And when I listen to you say, like, offering my community, I guess just from the work I do, what I really hear you saying as well is offering myself something else. And like,
Yeah.
I think that's such a rich thing that we can do in life. Like, I've loved doing that over time. And like, I think that matches with you so much. And like, it just continues to like give the charge.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I'm just like, and it's nice to be able to like refresh your own work. You know what I mean? Like
Absolutely.
you're like, I'm bored with this. Not like bored per se, but you're like, I'm more dynamic than this, or I want to offer something else. And so then I just decide to do it. And then I do. And then that's it. And then I do it and it's done. You know what I mean? So I love that.
And then I do it and it's done. That's your workshop.
I do it and it's done. And I'm like, all right, and we're done. And I'm doing a different workshop now. And if you want to learn about intuition, sign up for a mentorship because that's not what
Big
it
thing.
is. Although there'll be a
Wait,
part of it, it's always a part of everything I do.
of course, that's the thing. The essence of you will be in everything that you do. And honestly, I'm gonna let that segue a little bit into like, you know, I I just like I loved your essence of the last time we were together. I mean, every time that we're together, but also, and I think there's that's so much of that you just like offer that like as you. And you're this year bringing all of that essence with you, of course, and you're doing Healing Through Herbal Wisdom workshop. And I love this transition from like, wow, you like totally owned, which that's what it's owned tarot before. And now I'm like psyched, like to feel how you're owning this, healing through herbal wisdom. And we're always looking for this specifically in Rise. You know, we've been doing this for a long time, and like it is absolutely a lane that we love to have filled. of being able to receive herbal wisdom and that kind of knowledge and engage with that in nature, with nature in a way. So like, and some people look at herbal wisdom and they're like, "Huh, what? Like, what
Yeah.
do you even mean by that?" So like, if you were to
Yeah.
tell someone who's never even heard those words together, what you mean by herbal wisdom?
So, okay, there's like a couple different lenses I can approach this from. The
Yeah.
first one is like people forget that a lot of what we eat in our kitchen is accessible medicine, right? So when we talk about things like thyme and cilantro and rosemary and all of these things that we cook with probably regularly, in addition to them just being, and I say just being, even though they're bigger than that, but in addition to them just being plants, like they have these like gorgeous properties that they can provide us with things like helping us to stop coughing or to help with circulation or to, heal from, fungal things growing in our scalp. Which is like all these things that we don't think about when we throw some rosemary and some spaghetti sauce, but it's like, and you're like, oh, look, I'm medicating my family. But it's not things that we think about, but it's just like these herbs have all these gorgeous properties to them, that we can really use in different ways. And a lot of people don't realize that a lot of modern medicine is just taking what's called a constituent or a piece of these herbs and making it accessible so you just take that piece. But when we talk about things like herbal wisdom, we're not just connecting with the medicine of the plant, but we're also connecting with the intuitive magical properties of the plant. And so there's things that different plants teach us. Like, for example, we're all familiar with rose, right? We've probably hopefully at some point have received some roses in our life. And in addition to just roses being associated with love, they also are a heart space opener. And so when we're trying to invite in things like softness or more ease, rose is a beautiful way to kind of like allow yourself to be more open to these things. And so when I say things like herbal wisdom, it's not just understanding like this thing is a plant and it grows out the ground, but like what can it teach me outside of just its pure existence from me taking the time to intentionally connect with this plant, which is part of what the workshop will kind of be about, is kind of like how can I receive intuitive messaging from holding space with these plant spirits, if you will, or allies, as we sometimes call them in herbal medicine or
Mhm.
foraging or folk medicine, and see what kind of messages come up for us. So that's probably the long and short of what I would say herbal wisdom is.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Right, because it is actually an ancient relationship. I mean, this is like, we are created of the same as these plants, these allies. And
Yeah.
yeah,
And
and
it's like these beautiful, like indigenous practices that, and, practices that date like very, very, to the beginnings of time where people communed with plants, and used them to kind of guide them through their healing process or through whatever knowledge they felt like they could receive. And so,
absolutely. And like in the same way you mentioned, in the same way we use it with food, as food, there are so many other rituals that we have with plants that provide us with something. I
yeah.
mean, I truly believe that. So, yeah.
And even like when we make food, like there we can feel, you know what I mean? Especially when you make food for people you love, like there's a energy to that. And a lot of times like we can attribute that same energy when we work with plants and see what that energy brings out of us.
Yeah. I'm gonna take a turn to where my brain went for a second, which was that's why our food, the way it's produced now, and then I thought, ooh, power plants through like is
Like
isn't
no.
isn't I mean, I've sensed this in myself, isn't nourishing in the same
Hmm.
way as when you're making a home cooked meal. It just doesn't. It just ain't. It's not.
Yeah, yeah.
And
There's like a disconnection that sometimes happens. And it's like I get it. Like as somebody who has lots of jobs, like we said, and
sure.
lots of roles that I play, like many of us, which is why we come to Rise. Um, It's like that's why we're like, I got to get away. It's too many things I got to do. But like I get it. Sometimes that's the option. Like that's the thing. Like either I eat or I don't eat. But when you can, like being able to be intentional is just it's a you can feel like the energy is just different.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, exciting. So tell me a little bit like I think you would be in the like kitchen this year. Are you gonna like bring things and like what are you gonna do?
So
Just
I'm
because
probably gonna mostly work with dried herbs just to make this not too overwhelming.
yeah,
Um But basically, there's going to be a couple components. I definitely wanted to put a little Reiki in there just so we can have some moments of like deep healing and clarity or connecting to what we need. But there's going to be intuitive herb selections and kind of learning a little bit about like plant energetics and what comes up when you use different plants and how to select maybe a plant to work with,
yeah.
and also things like tea meditation. So we'll have a time to kind of show, like, I'll be able to show you a practice of like, here's how you connect with the herb if you'd like to kind of receive some guidance or intuitive connection to this herb and what it's trying to show you at the time. So we'll do a little bit of that. And then I'll still kind of put a little bit of intuitive messaging in there. So we'll do a little collective reading and guidance and reflection. So it honestly, what I really wanted to bring, which is one of my favorite things to do, is a more extended version of like my tea circles, community circles. So it'll kind of be that vibe with a focus on plant medicine and energetics.
Amazing. Wonderful. And then you'll you're
And
excited.
then I'm gonna tap dance, and then no, I was kidding. They'll be like, she does that too. I'm like,
Are
she does. No,
Don't even say that to me because last year I was like, oh, like I'm sure I was excited about being, on the dance floor with you, I thought. And then you were
I am a true
not.
Taurus moon. When she runs out of battery, she's in the bed. Like
Does my Taurus
I'm a
rising not
Virgo
do that?
sun and a Taurus moon. Like when she runs out of battery, she is in the bed.
I
She is
know,
done.
I do feel
I was like, I've peopled all day. Like I could. And I was sitting there like I'm also a Leo rising. So I
that.
had
Oh, right, I
serious
remember that. I was like, wait, you're
I have
Scorpio, but
serious FOMO, right? So I'm like in the bed like this would be so fun. Oh, but I'm like I'm exhausted. I don't have any more social battery. So I just was like I had to
you're like,
let it go. I
eh.
know, like, will they, won't they? Like, that was me in the bed, like, will they, won't they, will they, won't they? I'm like looking out the blinds, like, that looks so fun. Oh God, I need to go back to bed. That was basically what was happening.
Yeah. I mean, that happens for a lot of people at Rise, I feel like too. I love that and hearing those stories of like what you do and what you end up doing and not doing while you're there, which is so much of it. Like, wait, for
Yeah.
these 2 days, well, you're facilitating, so you can't choose exactly what you're gonna do, but wait, like for these days, I like can do what I want to do.
Hmm.
And there's like options.
Yeah. And I
Like,
don't like have to be somewhere I don't necessarily feel like being if I don't want to. Like, that's so nice. A luxury that I can't always take. Sometimes you wake up and you're like, I don't know why I said yes to this, but here we are.
I know. Well, I've been doing attendee interviews too, and one of them kept saying that, like, wait, even just coming to Rise made me realize that I could do things on my own, or like even not going to something made me realize, wait, now I don't have to go to things. And like how those were the things that they brought back into their life.
I love that.
I know. I was
It's like, please don't do things you don't want to do. Like, please, like,
right.
please say no when you don't feel like it.
Amazing. All right. Let's transition a little bit because I want to cover you're also doing private sessions. I know, it's just such a
Always. I love a one-on-one. Those like my favorite. There's like I love building community, but I love a one-on-one. Like I can't describe like the joy I get from being able to like deeply connect with someone in that way. And for somebody to trust me enough to connect with them that way. Because it's like a lot of times we're not dealing with like shallow stuff, you know? I'm doing like, like we call it a tarot reading or whatever, thing I decide to call it that day.
This
But
one
like
is psychic card reading and channeled soul guidance.
yes, which is why I added the channel soul guidance in because that feels like it more aligns with like what is actually
Right.
happening.
Yes.
Because a lot of times it's like people are like, what's going to come up? And I'm just like, honey, everything that you probably needed to hear that you probably already knew that you wanted a stranger to tell you so that you stop feeling crazy. Like that's, but that putting that in the description box is a lot, you
No,
know?
and maybe it's exactly what should go in the description box, I swear.
Because, like, in the description, it's like, yeah, you thought you were crazy, and now you're going to think you're crazier because this lady is going to tell you the thing that you thought you were crazy for thinking already. Like, and
It's
you
true.
don't
It's
know
all
her.
real and true. Yeah.
Yes, and it's so funny. And so it's nice because I feel like at Rise, it's such a beautiful container because the women feel so safe here. So a lot of times they're coming like with no facade, like unraveled and just ready for me to tell them like the deepest messages of their soul. Like they're just like, and so we're like sitting there, they're crying. I'm ready to start crying too because I'm just like, oh my gosh. But it's just, I love every moment of it. Like I love every moment of it. I feel honored every time. It's funny because they always ask me, especially during like the channel guidance sessions, they're like, "Are you surprised?" I'm like, "I'm always surprised. I don't know what's going to happen in these. I have nothing like, and especially if it's a channeled message, I don't know what I'm about to say to you. I have no idea. And sometimes I forget after I start talking, but literally like I have no idea. So yes, half the time I'm surprised too. And I'm sitting there and we're both surprised. And I'm just like, well, that was great. Thank you for coming.
You're like, that was crazy, wasn't
That
it?
was a wild
A
ride.
wild
Okay.
one we just went on.
I hope you got what you
I
needed. You
love
know
you.
what I mean?
Right. Yes. Oh my gosh. Such good stuff. I mean, it's so like, even when we're talking about it, I feel like that kind of like that warmth and that charge, which
Yeah.
is totally like in the room and a lot of like that feeling that is like generated from that kind of connection and someone able to like receive and be with even just another person with their soul in such a way.
Yeah, yeah. There's a deep vulnerability in this work um that people will come with and because they're just like I just need half the time like the consensus is like I just need to stop like either feeling lost or feeling like I'm crazy. And so if I can answer either one of those needs, I feel like, deeply honored and also happy that you were able to get what you needed. Because half the time the programming all around us will consistently make us continue to feel lost
Infused.
and
Yep.
need and confused.
Yeah, and smothered, like so it's like,
Yes.
yes.
It's just noisy,
Yeah, it's
noisy.
very noisy
It's
and
noisy.
and heavy and full of yeah.
Yes. And
Yes.
so a lot of times, like, what I'm hoping I'm offering is like, how can we shift some of the noise away and like get to what you really need to see that maybe you
Yes.
haven't had a chance to sit and see?
Like in such like a way where there's some space for it. Like,
Yes.
yeah.
To like honor the fact that like this thing probably wasn't easy for you to see, which is why I'm bringing it to your attention in the way that,
Yeah.
you're asking me to.
Yeah, and the word that keeps coming to me right now, which I've been with a bit for the last, I think, couple years, is help. And like that you're saying, like people come to you, we all need help. It's
Mm-hmm.
another thing with this. It's nothing to feel shame about. It's part of our relational dynamic. We're supposed to help each
No
other.
shame.
That's just through a conversation or through some form of connection or anything. And that's like people are coming for help.
100%.
Yeah. And we can offer that to one another in pretty simple yet profound ways.
Yeah.
Just by being us, you know?
Yeah. And I love that. I love that.
Yeah, me too. I've been trying to lean into that and love that a little more too. Like for me, it started as like obviously a personal process of like, wait a second, no, it's human to need help. We're designed to help each other.
Hmm.
We're
Hmm.
not each supposed to do it
Hmm.
all. There's this kind of
Hmm.
independence thing happening.
Hmm.
Mm-mm,
Hmm.
mm-mm.
100%.
Nope.
I literally talked about this in therapy last week.
Maybe that's why it's coming to me. Right?
That's possible.
I'm serious.
It's possible.
I speak your language.
I accept messages wherever they come at
Like
this
they
point.
come through from
If
me
if
too.
this on
They
if this
come
on a
from
van,
me
it's a
too.
van like call someone now, and I'm like, all right, I guess that's for me. I need to go call somebody because
Exactly.
literally, like, it's funny how like once you really like get in tune with what you need, like you'll be like, what? What does that mean? It means something. I don't know what it means yet. I'm gonna figure it out, but it
It's
means something.
true. It figures you out. It figures us out, whatever that need is or that thing that our soul body is attuned to.
Yes,
Tuning. Yeah,
100%. I
I agree.
agree.
All right, let's go into like, um, well, you obviously had to choose to come to Rise, you know, and you're choosing to come back. And I'm so excited about that. And I want to hear maybe from you just what was it like? Because we know that the journey to rise is there is actually a journey to rise. It's not just about being there. For a lot of it's the process of like making the decision, knowing, getting in touch with what you may need in some way, and then like actually showing up. And sometimes there's like fear. Am I showing up this or what's gonna be like and all that? And like I think that's part of the what happens for people. And I'm really getting in tune with that. And so I want to hear just for you, even though you came as a facilitator, we encourage everyone to just be themselves there, you know? So for you, why are you choosing, why did you choose to come? Why are you choosing to come back?
Um, it's funny because I feel so a lot of my mission or my goal, because this is like my goal, and I don't know if this would mean that I'm like projecting this on other people too, but I feel like it's something that helped me. But I feel like authenticity has always been like a big thing for me. And like I feel like that word has lots of layers to it, but like what it means for me to be authentic and for you to be authentic could be two completely different things and look completely differently too. And I love to honor the space of that. And so the I remember during the onboarding, one of our first conversations, which was a great convo, by the way.
Let's be real.
It was great. It
Wait,
was fantastic. Um, but I remember I was like, in very Virgo fashion, was like, yes, and then I'm gonna do this and da 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 da, da, and then I'm gonna like spin on my head and blah blah blah. And you were like, Atiya. You're like, Atiya. And I was like, huh? And you're like, the offering is you. And I was like, oh. And like, I was just sitting there and I was just like, see, you're doing too much. Like, the offering is you. So, like, it was just that kind of ability to just like, just show up and not feel like I have to be performative, which I've already done lots of roles in my life where I've had to do that. And, I used to be a teacher. Like, that literally is a daily performance. Which I love a teacher, I love an educator. I just know for me, it just didn't quite feel like a good fit for me anymore. But it's just something about like being able to be in a space and not have to be performative and to also be able to be authentic. And if that means that one day you feel like big and loud and boisterous, and the next day you just need to cry and have a hug, like those things can all have a space in Rise. And so it was funny because like especially as a facilitator, like there are times where like I'm really showing up in that role, and then there's other times where I'm just showing up as a participant. And I was laying on the dock and I was writing in my journal and I was just like letting the sun shine on me and just like totally taking everything in. And so I just love the beauty of being able to just ebb and flow with however you need to show up. Because that's always been something that I try to carry through my life as much as I can. And of course, there's times where it's really easy to do that and times where it's really hard to do that. But I feel like that is something that's always been important to me is to not have to feel performative and being able to find a space where like literally somebody's like stop performing, like relax is like was just really, really powerful for me. So that's what led me back.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, for sure. That's so, I mean, it's so relatable, I think. And that's makes me think of that, to go into like we're going into our 40s or we are in there. And that's so much of what is happening now in life and what's important for us to stay in touch with in order to feel well, you
Yeah,
know? Like always with ourselves and always with the flow of life, like how we are and through that and through yeah, not just our days, but like all the stages.
I know. Yeah. It's funny because everybody is always like talking about aging, and I'm just like, I'm honored. I'm honored to be
Mm.
aging.
That's what I
Like,
said.
I'm like, I'm honored to be aging. And I also hope that I can, like, show that it doesn't have to be done one way. Like, yeah, you know what I mean? Show that, like, even though there's a very maybe more conventional way to live, that maybe if that's not you, then that's okay too. Like,
Mm-hmm. I've been feeling so much so like that aging is a blessing, truly. And I'm like, oh, I kind of like, I just hope I make it to like feel like what it's like to be 60. Like, oh God, that's gonna be, I mean, that's gonna be good.
I can't wait. I
Same.
can't wait.
And yeah, I would never go back to 20. I mean, that was wonderful for what it was, but what
It
I
was cute or
it's
whatever, but
it was cute or whatever.
it was
I
cute
don't
or whatever. I
mean
don't know what I was doing half the time. I've
right, that's what
made
I
some
mean. Now we're
horrible
like,
decisions.
I'm like, I know what I'm doing here now. I know what I'm doing here.
Yeah, like I'm like, I feel like it's like, yes, I'm still figuring out, but I feel like I have me figured out at least. So that part is important.
Yes.
Like everything else may be moving around, very quickly, like I said at
Very.
the beginning. However, I feel like I figured me out a lot. So,
Yeah.
um, and I figured out what I valued and what's important to me. So I feel like that
Yes.
that is really important.
Yeah. And how to behold that in life. Yeah. I feel you too. And I just to return back real quick because I love that what I was emphasizing when I just was like inquiring about why you choose to come, you did go back to like our first conversation and that experience of what you did or were able to be in touch with and receive there, which was like, oh, I'm just going to show up as me. Like this is going to be the thing for me. And there's a lot there. Started from the moment you said your yes inside you, which that's what I know people are for as many people that like look for or think about doing something for Rise, the percentage like Rise, the percentage that actually comes is so minimal, you know? There's
Mm,
150 people that come, but we know so many others are kind of looking for it, whether they say it or look for it or not, looking for something like this. And if they do, there's like this whole deciding to come is a low percentage. So, what would you say to women who are considering coming to something like this? Like, what would you say to them?
I would say that if you haven't done it yet, Rise is probably just the beginning of you being able to choose yourself in a new way
A woman.
and just not have to apologize for what that looks like and to hold space for what you need and actually receive that thing that you're looking for from a multitude of people who are sharing the goal of supporting you in receiving and being seen.
Yes. And that it is a new way too. Like, it's wild that that's a new way. Or like it. but it does kind of set off a new way.
And I know so many women who have come to this and been like, you know what? Like I gotta change my approach. You know, to just like if this is what I can receive here, like what happens when I shift the focus and approach the rest of my life the same way?
Yeah.
And the beautiful thing is like I've seen that. Like I've literally like still are working with people from Rise who I've seen just transform because they made the first choice to be there and then they were like, "You know what? I need to be able to receive in this amount or this capacity all the time. What does that look like? What do I need to change to be able to do that?"
Yeah, definitely. I love hearing that you work still like in touch with some people.
100%.
Yes, good. Because that's like always, that's really at the heart of us is that the Rise is, I want Rise to be a resource always. Yes. And so, in all the big and small ways, and like that you can be a resource for people, um, and that they can connect with someone who could support them is wonderful.
Love it.
Yeah. Wonderful. Okay. Um, so I'm just gonna say, come hang out with me and Atiya September 25th or 27th this year at the Weekend Getaway.
We're so cool, guys. Like you're gonna want to come.
No, I'm just kidding. I want to hang out with them too.
Me too. They sound so neat.
Yeah.